What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH, USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out to the Dragon Riders out there. It is the 30th day of August, and here we are, my friends, at about $545. Not bad. Up a little bit today, 2.7%. That's not bad. Down a little bit yesterday, 4.8%, recovering, right? We had a low today at $524, man. I cannot believe we are at this phenomenal area of acquisition for Bitcoin Cash, man. From a low to a high, we hit our 1272. We're having a positive reaction off of it now, but this is not enough to sustain us, right? We do need more. If we can get above, and when inevitably we get above $567, that will allow the price to resume growing, and we're going to see the spectacular breakout. We're going to go over that in a second, but I want to talk about the short-term stuff. Okay, this spectacular breakout is going to be it's going to melt your faces off, man. It's going to put Bitcoin Cash on the map. More so than it already is. I mean, let's be fair. Bitcoin Cash is and has been in the top 20 for most of its existence. So everybody knows about Bitcoin Cash, but people don't really talk about it. Even though there's all these kind of very important fundamental developments going on with Bitcoin Cash, people are going to start talking about it a little bit more outside of just the Dragon Rider community here. So BCH, finding support at the 1272. This is a good reaction, but it's not enough to validate this as a low. We still could go lower, and the lowest that I think we would go would be about $507. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If I was looking to buy Bitcoin Cash, I would have no problem buying it here. 545, like whatever. This is a great price to buy. But if I did buy here and the price went down, I would just tell myself, if I buy here and the price goes here, I will buy more. Or at the very least, I won't sell, because inevitably it will come back up. But to validate this as a low, right here where we're at right now, the low of $524, if that is the low of this move, what we need to do is get above the golden ratio at 500 and let's just say 570, right? If you can get above 567, you get above 570. A daily close above that would do it. That would validate it, in my opinion. It would turn around this idea that we move lower into these extensions, and that we're actually done with this extension, and we should be moving up higher in a matter of no time at all. Looking at this here, I suppose it kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern, doesn't it? Right? We've got like the left shoulder, the right shoulder. It's like a complex head and shoulders pattern. The depth here is a little bit lower. You'd need to see this come down. I don't think it is. I mean, that's too small of a head, but it kind of has that look, doesn't it? I don't think we're going to go down. I don't think that it's going to work out that way. But really, if we're looking at this for what it is on Coinbase here, the second largest exchange for crypto in the world, we had a lot of volume. We really had a lot of volume, you guys, coming up. This is on the daily time frame. A lot of volume coming up through here. You can see all the volume, and the volume died off when we started moving down. That means exactly what we all know to be true in our hearts and souls and in our brains, most importantly, that people are acquiring Bitcoin Cash. Nobody's selling it. Nobody's selling it at all, right? This is just more of that exchange manipulation stuff where they're pushing the price down. Maybe for Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe even for Bitcoin Cash, but for all of crypto, just pushing the price down, clearing out some long positions before we actually start to move up. I actually want to type in BCH and just see what our long to short ratios are. A lot of longs. There's definitely a lot of longs open, and if we went down to 520, that would clear those out, but they're probably open down there because we just bounced off that area. I mean, we could go lower. Again, we really could see Bitcoin Cash go a little bit lower. We'll look at the short-term stuff and see if that's a valid possibility or not in a second, but I want to look at the 30-day time frame. Yeah, 30-day, there's a lot more shorts than longs, but there's a massive wall of longs. There's about $20 million to clear out at $510 there, so we might that golden ratio, that $507 area might actually be more appetizing than I thought it was. But typically these corrective phases, they go 1, 2, 3. So I think that's enough. We don't have to go lower, but if we go a little bit lower, that's fine as well. Let's look at the short-term stuff. We'll come back out to the long-term stuff and talk about what we're dealing with here, okay? I got to admit, looking at the 1 hour time frame, I like this look. That's a nice like double bottom look right here, okay? I mean, you had a very similar kind of look to you here, right? That little look there, and then boom, ripped up. We've got this same kind of look, it's just tilted the other direction, but I mean, we might rip through the roof. Those longs might be safe. And again, $20 million is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of crypto, this is not catching the attention of the exchanges, right? There's a lot more shorts, first off, and then second off, for Bitcoin and for Ethereum, there are a lot more shorts as well. So, I mean, it might make more sense to push the prices higher. And the prices beyond liquidations, beyond shorts and longs, the assets are getting more and more scarce as time goes on. The demand is there. The supply is not. Things are going to move up. It's just a matter of time, right? We're in this pressure, this tightening, this compounding of a spring. I don't even know. We're about to cut loose and let loose that pressure, it's going to be taken out to the upside here. 1 hour time frame, the RSI is bullish, the stochastics are bullish, and the MACD is also looking to cross above the zero. This looks bullish. It looks bullish on all fronts. I have no problem calling for us to continue to go. I don't see any situation where we go lower here necessarily. Let me look at this real quick though while I'm saying that. Let's look at this relative low to high, or high to low. Yeah, I think we go higher, guys. I don't see that. I don't see a situation where we turn around right here, but we could again. And if we do, it's not a problem. Who cares? Go to $500. Do it. Make my day. Make my grandkids' day. I'll be buying down there for them, right? From a low to a high here, low to high right here, we hit the 1272. I mean, that's fine. That's good enough. And again, that golden ratio, that $567, $570 area, also showing significance with that prior wick right there, and then prior resistance right here, and then prior support right here, and support right here. It's a significant area. We break above that, right? You put a line right there at the golden ratio, the 618 of this Fibonacci retracement and extension there. Resistance, resistance, support, support, nothing. Support there, resistance there, right? It's a somewhat significant area. We go back in time. I wonder if it's even, if we have significance on it. Let's see. We have to go way, way back. A little bit of resistance right there in that area. Resistance right there. Yeah, we've got significance in that price area. Break above it, and we're on a moon mission, man. 4 hour time frame. Looking at the indicators here. Oh, we've got bullish divergence on our oscillators. All right, we've got a higher low with the RSI, lower lows in the price, higher low with the stochastics, lower lows in the price, higher lows with the MACD on the histogram and the oscillators, lower lows in the price. All 4 hour indicators showing bullish divergence. And I would think this thing wants to get into the overbought zone. I would think this thing wants to get in the overbought zone. And I would think here, we've just crossed green. We've got more to go. So I don't see any reason for us to turn around here. Really, it's starting to look like this is the low, right? It's a little preemptive to say, but I think that once we get above there, it'll be safe and sound to call that the low. But damn, I'm pretty convinced that we do move up. Those longs are going to be safe, man. Anybody longing Bitcoin Cash right now, you're safe. Probably. We'll see. Anything can happen. If BTC tanks, if the markets have like some kind of quick flash crash, that's the only thing that could happen. You know, maybe we just real quick and then we come back up. But I wouldn't be too worried about that either way. If we're looking at this on the daily time frame here, daily time frame now, we're going to start to talk about the more exciting stuff in terms of this breakout that's coming, okay? Looking at the stochastics, we have been oversold for quite a bit, but we're a little bit more resilient right here, okay? You can see that the orange line tried to get into the oversold zone, but it's bouncing right off of it. That's very powerful. The orange line bouncing off the oversold zone or the overbought zone sends a more powerful signal than when the blue line does, okay? And like right here, when you bounce off the 50, that's a powerful signal. Right there, if today can close green and if the corresponding days can close green, that would be really good, because then what we start to see is that the stochastics come out of the oversold zone. Typically, when you come out of the oversold zone, you go to the overbought zone. You don't do this stuff. Okay? Typically, you go to the overbought zone. So that would imply growth between now and the beginning week of September there. The MACD is right at a point that you'd expect it to bounce. Again, same thing with the orange line here. It's more significant. You look for this scoop of the zero, right? If the blue line can cross above before the orange line gets too far below the zero, if these oscillators don't cross below the zero, but instead hold this area as support, which I think they will, which it looks like they want to, that is a very powerful signal as well, especially on the daily time frame. Whether you're just below, just above, it's a bounce off the zero, and it promotes good things, okay, good growth. And I would think, you know, being here, we're at some of the weakest readings that we've seen on the MACD in quite some time. I would think that we're overdue for a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, just like the rejection here was bad, support here would be good. Okay, the RSI is in a bearish posturing with these lower lows dating back here and lower highs, but we're at an area right here, right there, right? We're at an area right there where we found support before, going all the way back here throughout this trend, where we found support back here, where we found resistance here. Is a somewhat significant area right there at that 40. And whenever you have lower lows in your RSI, but you have higher lows in the price, it's actually a hidden bullish divergence. That's a good thing, because what we're seeing here is that this indicator is cooling off. Right? It's not hot. It's not in these overbought conditions. It's cooling off, but we're getting higher lows. The price is growing. That's awesome, because whenever the indicator gets hot again, we're already at these prices. We're going to run up a lot more. We have more room to run now. Right? Is kind of how you'd like to think about that. On a weekly perspective, and I was actually talking to a friend about this yesterday, a family friend. Shout out to Pita if you're watching this one. I don't know. You never know, man. We look at this here. You know, we've got this massive multi-cycle, lifelong historical downtrend in the highs. It's not a downtrend in itself, right? The price is not in a downtrend. It's in a consolidation phase because we have the lows here. That's your all-time low back in 2018. Connect the dots there. We're no more in a downtrend than we are in an uptrend, right? It's a consolidation phase, but we're not in either of those now. We've broken out. We've broken out. We just haven't had our breakout move yet. Okay, we're going to, but we haven't had it yet. Soon enough, we will. You know, think of it like this. Even I wonder. Let me see. Is that? No, that's not a good. Maybe that's a good example. I don't know. Kind of, yeah, kind of like that, right? You have your downtrend here. You broke out, but you didn't have your move until a later date. And whenever you did have your move, it was spectacular, right? I don't think it's going to take this long. I think we're closer to seeing a move like this and bigger in a shorter amount of time than a kind of a longer amount of time like that. But just the kind of point that I'm making there. I wonder if there's another example of that. I mean, here to the downside even, right? From a low, you broke out of your diagonal line. It wasn't immediately, but you consolidated for a little bit, and then you got ripped into the downside, right? Here we are, right on the precipice of greatness. This thing is going to rip. The first target to consider is this prior cycle's high, okay? We're nowhere near the end of the cycle, and that's our next target. So already by the end of this cycle, we're looking like we're going to get higher highs, which is going to change things for Bitcoin Cash, right? No more lower highs cycle after cycle. We're going to have higher highs. What does that imply for the cycles to come? Bitcoin Cash has maintained its stance in the top 20. It was presumed to be a dead hard fork of Bitcoin that would never come back, but it's been developing. There's been a bunch of people who have come into realizing that Bitcoin Cash is the better Bitcoin and that it's more implementable as cash, as a peer-to-peer cash-based system. And the thing that's really going to take the cake the most, it's going to put this thing on the map, is just price action. Performance speaks to people louder than fundamentals do. Everybody wants to pretend they're in it for the tech, in it for the fundamentals, but they're in it for the pumps, right? I mean, if you're in Bitcoin Cash, if you've been in Bitcoin Cash as long as I have, and you've been, or even longer, right? I mean, I remember I was in it in the very beginning, so I guess nobody's been in it longer necessarily. But if you've been in crypto as long as I have or longer, then you know what then you are in it for the tech. You're in it for the fundamentals. You're in it for the philosophy, right? You understand that philosophy, but a lot of people aren't in it. They're just in it for the pumps, right? I love Solana. I love the tech of Solana. What are you talking about? What tech? What are you talking about? Oh, the transactions per second. Oh, that's so cool. That's oh wow, you got me there. No, it's you're in it for the pumps, man. You're in it for, oh, I love Swift for the tech. What are you talking about? The transactions per second. That's all you got. That's, you know what I mean. That's whenever they talk about it. That's like their main thing. But anyways, getting away from talking smack about other coins. Bitcoin Cash is going to envelop all of them, man. It's going to envelop all of them, and this is just the beginning of that move. We're going to see a truly spectacular move. That's your first target area, is 1600, but I don't think that we stop there. Ultimately, I mean, this move really could, by the end of October, guys. I don't know what we're dealing with, and it excites me. It really excites me, and it should excite you too, because we have seen on a weekly basis some of the strongest readings. I mean, literally the strongest reading we've ever seen on the RSI happened this cycle, but some of the most consistent strong readings in the overbought zone on the RSI that we've ever seen. Okay, same thing on the monthly time frame. The stochastics have been living in the overbought zone more than we ever have. We've lived above the zero more on the weekly MACD than we ever have with our oscillators for any bull market that we've been in. That we're showing signs of strength like we've never shown before. I'm truly excited. I'm on the edge of my seat to see how far this thing goes, because this is the minimum. I don't even think that's the maximum, but I feel like that's a good maximum to give. Like, what if by the end of October we were all the way up at $6,000? It sounds crazy now. Some people watching this might think he's just saying that because he wants to blow smoke. He's just buttering the bread for Bitcoin Cash. But then we're up there, and then everybody's going to be like, damn it, I knew it was going to do this. I should have bought more. Why didn't I buy more? I knew it was going to go up here eventually. Why didn't I buy more? Like, I'm not kidding. We've got some truly interesting potential here, because we've never broken out of this before, and this is a kind of like once in a lifetime breakout opportunity that's happening for us right now. Okay, beyond that, we have this very powerful signal in the moving average ribbons, right? The exponential ribbons here. On a monthly time, on the weekly time frame, it looks good as well, but on a monthly time frame, we've never had these ribbons cross to a bullish effect. We've just started that. We have not seen the bullish. Look at what happens whenever we expand on the ribbons here. We're moving down at a solid pace. We're moving down, right? Very contracted, and then when we start to expand, look at how fast and rapid we move down. We haven't had that to the bullish effect. And when I say that this move is going to be one of the largest, if not the largest move that we've ever seen in Bitcoin Cash's history, I mean it. And this, mind you, we went from $294 to $4,300 in 3 months during this thing's inception. We could see a bigger move than that now. We really could be at new all-time highs, if not by the end of October, by the end of this year. And I absolutely believe that we're going to see new all-time highs by the end of this cycle. Right? The cycle is going to end in 2026 sometime. I think probably Q2 of 2026. Maybe it goes into Q3. I've seen some data that suggests that we could go into Q3, you guys. I mean, the super cycle theory, I don't know about that. I think that we will have a bear market. But a lot of people remember back in the day, whenever we were starting out this cycle, everybody was saying, we're going to have a left translated cycle. It's going to be faster. You know, oh, Bitcoin's above its all-time high before the halving. We're going to have a left translated cycle, blah, blah, blah. I think the bear market's going to be left translated. I think the bear market's going to be left translated. We're going to have a shorter bear market, and the bull market's going to be right translated. It's going to be longer. That's my thoughts. I don't know. Maybe not. But ultimately, I think the minimum target to consider for Bitcoin Cash by the end of this cycle, the absolute bare minimum target to consider is $10,000. 10 to 13K, that's a good kind of minimum range right there. It's your 1272 target based off of your all-time high to all-time low extension. Your high to low here, that's your golden ratio from your prior cycle's target. If you see a new all-time high cycle over cycle for the average crypto, typically what you do is you go to the golden ratio or higher, okay? So 10 to 13K, that's a good minimum zone of what I would expect. But when I say minimum, I really do mean that, because that's about a 17x to a 23x. That's only performing on average, right? The average altcoin will perform about that. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin Cash saw higher prices. And with the fact that I don't believe that this cycle is going to end in October, right? If this cycle ended in October, we'd have to see a hell of a rally to get up to these levels, right? I don't think it's completely, it wouldn't be possible at all to get to 23K. Not that it can't happen, but I wouldn't think that we get to 23 or 20K at all. But the fact that this cycle could continue into not just Q2, but Q3 of next year, 2026, if you accept that as a reality or as a possibility, we've got 40x potential here, you guys. We've got some serious potential with Bitcoin Cash. And that's, let alone, this is something else I was talking to my buddy about, is that this thing is going to be worth the same price that Bitcoin is worth now, $108,000. It will inevitably get to that price. We get to $108,000, that price inevitably, it might not be by the end of this cycle, but next cycle, we're going to be worth 200x more. We're going to be worth 300x. Imagine all the people who look at Bitcoin who are like, I wish I bought that at $500. I wish I never sold at $500. I wish somebody told me about it when it was worth $500, $600. I wish someone told me about it when it was $1,000. I would have bought all of it there. Well, you got that opportunity right now. And what, you would just hold it? Would you with Bitcoin, BTC, have bought it back here at $3,000? Would you have bought it back here? We don't have the all-time history data on here. Let's pull that up real quick. Would you have bought it back here at $200, $500? My first interaction was $258 down here in this little lull. Would you have bought it down here, and would you have held it all this time? Right? Maybe you wouldn't have. But now that you know what it is capable of, in hindsight, you would have. Well, you have that second chance now, and now you know better. Now you know what you're dealing with. You've got Bitcoin that's got the same fundamentals as BTC, but this Bitcoin's the better Bitcoin. It's more true to what the white paper is, and it's more versatile as far as development goes. I don't know, man. I think that this is really a blessing right here. This is a true blessing, and not financial advice, not a financial advisor. People talk about getting your Bitcoins off exchanges, and that's probably smart, you know, to some degree. If you're having a lot of money in Bitcoin or Ethereum, sure, you should have your money off the exchanges. But if you're in this for the long haul with Bitcoin Cash, like I am, if you're planning on selling this whenever it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, like I am, yeah, you should probably have it in cold storage, because the exchanges won't have enough. Because the true crypto essence, like the true, and I'm preaching to the choir here, I know I am. You guys already know this, but the true nature and essence, the spirit of crypto is decentralization, getting away from banks and getting away from the system. Anybody and everybody who's invested in Bitcoin Cash who has long-term storage on their minds, which is 90% of the Bitcoin Cash community, you're already off the exchanges. So if you're accumulating Bitcoin Cash right now, the exchanges aren't going to, and the community has literally been showing, they've been doing bank runs on these exchanges with Bitcoin Cash, and they've had to pause withdrawals because the exchanges don't have enough. They've literally showed their hand that they don't have any Bitcoin Cash on reserves, because the community, Bitcoin Cash, is probably the only community that really does take to heart taking their, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, taking their funds, taking their reserves off the exchanges. And that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. If you're just buying millions of dollars of Bitcoin Cash, thousands of dollars of Bitcoin Cash right now, and it'll be worth millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions in the future. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're buying hundreds of dollars worth, like it's going to be worth so much more. You need to get your, if it's for short-term stuff, you're in it for this cycle, you're going to cash out and you're going to take cash. Okay, leave it on the exchange. I don't care. It's your money. Do what you want to do. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. But if this is your second chance, if you're looking at it as a second chance, where if you could go back in time and buy BTC at $500, $600, and not sell it till it's worth $100,000 because you had the vision, you should probably take that money and put it in cold storage. You probably should. Okay, probably. You can leave it on the exchange. It's safe there, but it's not your Bitcoin at that point. I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. This thing's going to blow through the roof, and I'm genuinely excited to see what happens. I very much feel, I don't care who you are, whether you're a hater, whether you're a lover, whether you're part of the Dragon Rider community, whatever, whether you're a Bitcoin casher for life or not, I have a feeling that all of us, even the top wallets, whenever Bitcoin Cash is up here, whenever it makes this spectacular move over the coming months, we're all going to say the same thing. I knew it was going to do that. Why didn't I buy more? Like, and I'm talking about devout people who are invested in this thing, man, who have a majority of their life savings probably invested in this. We're all going to think the same thing. Why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I get a fifth job? Why didn't I sell my car, my house, my shoes, my whatever? Why didn't I take out a loan? Like, this, no matter how much you have, it's going to be one of those things that no matter how much you have and how right you've done to this point, it's going to move up and you're going to be like, why didn't I put more in there? Why didn't I talk to my friends and get a pool of money together for a small percentage? Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm truly excited to see where this thing goes, and it's just a matter of time. We're all about to be vindicated to the most spectacular degree. And what's great about this, I keep trying to end this video, man, but what's great about this, I know people are excited, right? I'm excited too. We're going to see a higher high. That's great. But what does that imply for the future, right? We see a higher high, and what that implies is that the B cashers, the Bitcoin trashers, we were right. All you Oscar the Grouches out there, we were right. And then all of a sudden the tech's going to matter. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.